Just before we start, the Bitcoin prediction game, which anybody can play, it's free to play. Just go to the homepage here and just click on here and just register yourself, and it's absolutely free to play. There's no hidden agendas. And what I want to point out is the 20th today, and this is GMT time here, UK time. So at the 20th of each month, you can't change your price. Once you have set your price here, then it's logged in at the 20th. You can change it as many times as you want up until that particular date. Okay, so there's 2 million Satoshis up for grabs, and a year's subscription here as well. So that's that. Just wanted to remind folks that this is the last day to change your price. Coming on to the S&P 500 is that obviously there's a US holiday, so this is really mainly about sort of the European markets and the Australian markets, but the futures markets have been moving a little bit. We'll just quickly go over this. So on the weekly chart here, from this low here, we're looking for 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Within wave 2 to wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Between 4 and 5 here, we're also looking for 5 waves as well. Now, it's also looking for these two particular tops here. We're bringing in lots of other markets around the world, stocks and so on, to to sort of have the same top, because they'll all sort of move together. And obviously we've got the elections coming in as well, and I think from memory is that it doesn't really matter who wins the election, the markets still go up after that period. So the elections may not pick a top here either, but I'll just do a bit of research on that, and we'll slowly communicate and talk and chat about that. So we can do that in the chat lounge within the website. So between 4 and 5 here, we're looking at daily charts. So this wave 4 here, and this wave 5 up here, which is intermediate degree, and we're looking for 5 minor degree, so 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here. And between wave 2 and wave 3 up here, we're also looking for 5 waves of minute degree, a degree smaller. So we've got 1 and 2, and going up for the 3rd wave here, the 4th and the 5th. And then we'll have the 4th over here. So we're looking for 5 waves between minor wave 2 and 3 there. So with that in mind, we'll go into the intraday now. It gets a little bit busy, but picking it up from that wave 2, we'll just bring in a little bit more data. So this wave 2 here, we've got 1 and 2, and we're going up for wave 3 here. As I mentioned, we're looking for 5 waves within wave 2 to wave 3 here of minute degree. So the blue 1, blue 2, blue 3, blue 4, and blue 5. And between blue 2 and blue 3 here, we're also looking for 5 waves as well. So we've counted up here for 1 and 2. And then we'll have 3, 4, 5 up here, and then between this 2 and this 3 here, we're also looking for 5 waves as well. So we've got a little 1 in here, a little 2 in here, hard to see, 3, 4, and then going up for 5 here. So we'll see this play out a little bit further up here. It'll be in group 1. 5 is the second strongest number. Not so much 5,000, but the 500 here, that's what it's about. So group 1 above 10, 20, and 30, and group 2 below will be the swing range for the initial pattern in this particular area. So we'll leave the stops out of the way. So we can track this up here in due course when the markets sort of reopen a little bit, but anywhere at 10, 20, and 30, somewhere in that space there. And then we'll have a wave 4 here, and we'll find support on the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or the 38.2% retracement level from 2 to 3 here, and then we'll push up here. I think wave 5 will be reasonably sort of small, and I think it's still going to be part of this 500 number here. I could be wrong, and it could end up being much higher, but we'll see the structure as we go. The main point here is we want to leave our stops out of the way here. You can take full profit higher up here at this particular number. We'll get a we'll get a take on that. So you can take, depending on how long you want to stay in the trend, if you want to get up here higher and so on at this point. So, but this is going to be messy in here, right? So don't go getting in and out and losing money in this space here. We'll get you out and we'll get back in over here. We might do a quick trade up here as well, but be very careful. This is where you lose money around large numbers and in wave fours, because coming up here we've had series of ones and twos, and going back further as well, ones and twos, ones and twos, ones and twos, all pretty simple. But now we're getting into 4 and 5s here, so it's a different cup of tea, and yeah, it can get a bit trippy. So yeah, be careful what you put in your tea. Okay, so over to the the ETF. So we've got wave 1 and 2 here and wave 3 up here, and we're looking for 5 waves in that section. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and between this 2 and this 3 we're also looking for 5 as well. So we've got 1 and 2. I still haven't resolved that there, but this is clear here, so we can just it'll come out in the wash up here, doesn't matter. I'll leave it there for a moment till I really check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're just mosey on up here to this level. So this 50 up here will play out as the 500 on the S&P here, so it'll be something like this here. I'm just doing a very simple, but it's going to be a lot more complicated than that. But that will give you the shell of the idea. So you either leave your stop out, take it all. You just got to decide before you get there. That's all. You don't want to make decisions in this space. If you're making decisions in this space, it's decisions that you've made previously, is that, okay, we're going to try to get a few points out of here, then we're not going to trade this down here, we're not going to trade against the trend, but we're going to be definitely building in over this side over here. So taking all profit up here, part profit up here on this one or this one, you know, you may not want to go through this one either. You might want to take part here and put it back in here and take it all at this point. All of these sorts of things, you know, I'll try to play I'll put on many hats to get through it, but you need to decide before you get there. That's the trick, not when you're in the thick of it and it gets emotional. So the NASDAQ's much the same, slightly different count, but basically going up to primary wave 3, so 4 to 5 here with 5 waves in here. This there'll be, you know, coming into the 20,000, there's going to be, well, in the bigger picture, there's going to be, you know, we're going to be at this space for a while here. And it's kind of good to know, because this will be, when you got 20,000, that's major trading level 2. So 21 here, I haven't got it perfect there, 21, 22 and 23. That's also group 1 as well. So that's going to be where the highs are, and the lows down here is 18. So after 15 is 18, a minor level. And when we talk about 18, we talk about group 2. So it's 16,000, 16,500, I'll get that later, and 17,200 in this case. So look, this is going to be basically the swing range for this correction here. So it's just, you know, everything is just sort of fractals in this point. Between 20,000 and 21,000, there will be sub-levels in there that we'll be looking at, which will be smaller group 1 and smaller group 2. But anyway, we're looking for 5 waves from 4 to 5, and if we go to the daily chart, we can start to see that fractal here as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here. And between 2 and 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves of 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5 moving up here. We'll have a closer look at that now. We'll pick it up at wave 2, and that will be, we'll go to 20,000 on this one. So this is wave 2 here, and we're looking to go up to wave 3. So I'll just squish that in there a little bit. So this will be wave 3 over here somewhere, and then there'll be a wave 4 here, and then there'll be a wave 5 going up. So between 2 and 3, we've got 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, and then between 2 and 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves as well, as 1 and 2 and 2, and then up for 3 here, and between 2 and 3 we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you've got a keen eye for Elliott, you can see we've got wave 1 and 2, we're going up for 3, 4, 5, so it'll be up here somewhere, and then there'll be wave 4 here that it may be simple, but normally we just have to expect the worst and make them complicated, and then we'll see this here, and then this here will obviously be a bit, this one here will be really, I mean, if you're talking ratios and proportions and those sort of things, then this one here should be 60% bigger than this one, and this one should be 60% bigger than this one. But it can be double as well, because when things start out, you know, you have 61.8% and 38.2 that make one, and those two together make two. So between 1 and 2, that's, you know, that's 100%, you know, and then you get to 3 and 5 and 8 and 13, 21, 34, 55 and 89, 144. So as it moves out through those numbers, it becomes more into the golden mean and golden ratio. But in the beginning, they can just sort of be twice as big. But anyway, just gives you a bit of, it helps you with the right look and feel about things if you can kind of wrap your head around it a bit. But that's where we are for the NASDAQ, and the triple Q will be the same as well, so I won't bore you to death on that. So we've got wave 2 here, and we'll have wave 3 over here. We're looking for 5 waves here, so we've got blue 1 and blue 2 going up for blue 3, 4, 5. And between those 2 and 3 here, we've got 5, so we've got 1, 2. They're all doing the same thing, basically. The US markets, except for the Russell, and probably the MDY and, you know, all the other ones completely different. The smaller companies are got different costs, but yeah, that's it really. So this will be, in this case, little 1, 2, push up for 3, 4, 5 up here somewhere, and then I'll have this little correction here, and then push up here, and then some sort of, I don't know if it's going to get up to the 500 at this point. We'll see how close that gets. It probably will, yeah. Markets like to get, you know, the psychology of things. So we'll probably get up to there somewhere. This will be the arrival here. So we'll, across this level here, we'll see this basic pattern here, the arrival, the reaction for wave 3, 4, and 5. That's normally what this is here, you know, but it's just playing out in terms of numbers over here, looking at it in that way. So yeah, so this will be, and then we'll have wave 4 over here, so that will make that pretty simple, and then wave 5 further up the top up there. So that's where we are. So yeah, we're going into a pretty, we're not, you know, we've had our trends, you know, so the rest of the trends are going to be shorter now, you know, it's going to be tougher, you know, it's not going to be like going to your auntie's house. This is like sneaking in late at night. It's dangerous. So there we go. It'll be something like that. So it's going to get really messy through all here, you know. So when you get into spaces like this, what you got to realize, there's a time to shovel it in, and there's a time to sort of like, you know, use a smaller shovel and just trade less. Just make it a standard thing when you're around large numbers, you know. Unless we're on the other side of it here and we're building up here, then it's a different story. Different strategies for different parts of the trend. So we're in with the Russell here. Now, you know, I don't like to assume too much, but we do have a nice sort of A wave, an A and a B and a C wave here for the B wave and down for the C wave. It looks good. It looks okay, and we've got an impulse wave to the upside here. This is the ETF, if I remove this here and this low here on the cash market here, which will also have the futures attached to it because it's the CFD, but wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Now, we've got a small position in here, and we'll look to add to this in due course. But I don't know if this is the push to the upside just yet. This is the futures market here, so the September contracts, I think, yeah. So it looks okay, but I don't. If we have 5 waves here, then I can say we're going to get 5 over here, you know. But really, this here can be an A and a B and a C wave here, you know. So we're not out of the woods yet with this. Getting support on the 50 here is really what you're looking for next. So this is also a classic trading levels pattern because the 5 is the second strongest number. There's nothing to do with the 2 here. It's just the 50, right? So this is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and we can go long above that top. But if you can get another little classic trading levels pattern in here, then you can use that to build onto. So that's where the Russell is. We come over to the DAX. They hasn't really moved at all, and you could get an impulse wave out of this, and we were looking to go long if we get support on the 200. This is, if we look at this here as 1, 2, 3, 4 here and down for 5, that kind of makes sense. And it's not that, I could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could get 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, but it's such a big wave for wave 2 here, you know what I mean? And in fact, that would be 5 waves to that point there. So if that's breached, then this is coming down further at this point, because that would be the A, the B, and the C wave to here. Oh, and I can get 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can get one tiny more low here, but yeah, so if the 200 becomes the support, and support is the first high, wait for the first high, and if that high gets taken out, then you can go at that point. So we're kind of preparing for it, but I think that what will happen is probably we'll come down, and then we'll have to rinse and repeat and start from this point. But we have to be prepared, and that's part of being lucky. So we'll see. So anyway, it doesn't really produce a nice impulse wave to the upside. The FTSE is a little bit the same as well. So I can easily put a wave 4 over. This is a bit more complicated, but just simply, if we look at it as an A wave and a B wave here, and then we're counting 5 waves down. Now, wave 1 is perfect, nice 5-wave structure here, all beautiful. And this here is a bit of a mess, so I could change this. I could WXY and all those sort of things. I could go wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2, down for 3, 4, and 5 over here as well. I could do that. And whichever way I go, it doesn't make a lot of sense, But what I'm thinking is that if the other markets have got their lows in place, then we could probably push up. So once again, a bit like the DAX, I can get 5 waves out of here and look at this as wave 1, but it's such a long shot. And then we were looking here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got 5 here. So we've kind of got a little 1 and 2 in here. Now we're getting a 1 and 2 here. That could go over there, but I can already count 5 waves up here. So we could look to go long here, but I'm just going to wait another session. I just want to get a sort of a clear break of all of this, and I understand that this here too can be an A wave, a B wave, and some sort of C wave, well, really to that point there. So we're kind of gone beyond the C wave a little bit, so that's why I'm feeling a bit chirpy about it. You could probably, when the US come back online, go for it at that particular point, but this wave 4 still is lingering here in case we get some other sort of pattern, because it can come back to this particular one here. If I sort of just took the top of wave 2 for a moment and this low here, then the 38.2% is down here somewhere. So it's quite high already. It's at the 50%. So getting support on the 200 would give it the, give it a bias to the upside. But then you have to ask yourself, what is support? And support in its easiest form is just getting the first high above the level and then getting that taken out at that point, because it's retested and then it's proven to you it's strong by making a new high. Obviously, you can read the volume within all of this, and there's, as I say, there's many roads to Rome to do all of this, but just understanding that simple premise is the starting point for understanding if a price point has been tested and it's secure. So it looks like it wants to find that number as support, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Just looking at it, it's come down and it's it's chipping away at the supply over here, so it is looking quite good. And when we look at the Australian market, this is CBA, we can come back to that. Now, with this one, we've been looking at it in 2 different ways. This particular way here would be in line with the US markets, but lagging them as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. And it does appear, well, when we spoke yesterday, I think we're down here somewhere looking for 5 waves up. So we've got 1 and 2 here, then 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave. So we have a reasonable odd looking 5-wave structure to the upside. So we're in some type of little correction at the moment. I haven't gone in there and looked at it, but in a nutshell, we can go long above this top here. So we'll see how that goes. But I think what will sort of happen is we'll just end up sort of, I'm not sure about this here, any sort of rally here, we'll just see something like that before going up, you know. So let's see what occurs. At least that's our trigger at this point, you know. And of course, with this here, we can look at it in a bigger picture here just to make it clearer. This is in line with the US markets as 3 and 4 here, and then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Now the US markets have got this wave 3 there. They're much closer to this, you know. They're going up into their wave 3 at the moment, so we're behind here, you know. So we've got to understand that point. So if we don't get this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here for the third wave, if we don't get this, then as I mentioned, we'll have to look at the wave 4 over here and look at this as more of a triangle pattern, which there's 2 ways to look at this as a triangle pattern, and that would be on this chart here. I'm kind of thinking that it will follow the bank, so, you know, that's the thing. So we could look at it as an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, and a D wave here, and then an E wave here, and that's the end of it at that point. So we could put the wave 4 here. There is a more complicated pattern that can take us further over to here, and another one that can take us down to here. Because I've got to kind of think that if this drifts sideways and actually doesn't go up and drifts sideways over here, what we have to kind of think about, if I can just get a NASDAQ chart or another chart here. So yeah, so this triple Q will be fine. So when we get this and this here, when this pulls back, and then when this pulls back here, and if our markets don't, you know, if we get some, if this drifts over here further to this point, and we get this here, and we get this over to here, so we get some sort of A, B, and then an A, B, C here for the B, C wave, and then an A, B, C for the D wave, and then the E wave over here, that there would put us over at this wave 4 here, you know. So, and then we'd go up in the 5th wave to finish off, you know. So yeah, we just got to kind of gather evidence, and we kind of really need the miners on board, and I can see that we could have copper coming into play here with this. I'll just jump onto commodity charts here from Sumney here. He's doing a better job than me, so let's just find copper, because it's really, you know, copper's quite central to most of it. So basically we're looking for a bit of a low to come into play here from wave 3 and wave 4 here. I'll bring it up to the daily chart. So wave 3 and 4 here. So we're looking for a push to the upside here. So if we get, you know, BHP and those boys on side, because we got the banks are cranking, you know, we've got wave 3 and 4 here, and this is the same as the S&P. We've got 1 and 2, so the S&P, we're going into wave 3 here as well with the S&P, but with this one here, you know, we're heading up for wave 3 here. It's just that this is lagging a little bit here, in that if I take this here, this wave 3 here, this is where the NASDAQ is approaching this wave 3 here, you know. So we're a little bit behind, but not too much, you know. So it's kind of okay. So this here is what wave 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 pulling back, and then, you know, 3 here and 4 here and 5 here for this third wave, and then a fourth, and then this here, and so on at that point, you know. So I'll just map that out a bit more here, wave 4 and wave 5 here. So we're a little bit behind. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll just sort of dance with it a little bit. And yeah, but it's getting into a point, as I mentioned yesterday, where we have wave 2 here, wave 2 here, wave 2, and it'll be this wave 2. So it'll be the third of the third of the third of the third. So we should start picking up speed after, once we get support on 130, we'll pick up speed, put it that way. But getting to that's going to take a week, probably, by the looks of it, the way that it's nailing across there. Okay, so that's it. I won't be doing a stocks video because the market was closed, and I don't do a commodity video on Thursdays. I do admin work, but I will be updating the the sector charts today because I haven't done that yet. Just been too busy, so apologies about that, but I'll be doing that today and doing some other admin work. So, alrighty, cheers.